Hey everyone, it's Jodie here. Happy Thursday. Hey Charlotte.
Hey, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How has your morning been?
It's been good. Went for a nice walk with the dog in the sunshine. What about you?
I have had a very busy morning, but all good. It's a beautiful day. I'm glad to
I
be here,
know.
and I am really excited today to be talking about facing our fears. Pretty, I guess, important topic for both of us for many reasons.
Definitely, for sure.
So, guys, for those of you who are watching, just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jodie, and I've got Charlotte who is joining me today.
Hello.
And we're actually, well, how did we meet? So we've known each other since February this year,
Yep.
so not that long. And we actually spent 3 days at a leadership conference in February. And would you believe that in those 3 days, I don't think we even really spoke to each
I
other.
don't think I said anything to you.
I probably
Oh,
didn't even know who you were.
I know. Isn't that
So
funny?
it was a bit funny, and I think the thing for me was it was the best, one of the best conferences I've ever been
Honestly.
to. And I guess for me, it just embedded that this is absolutely the space that I love. Like, it was so
Yeah,
good to be kind of hanging out with like-minded people. But you know, we
sure.
spent 3 days together. We didn't talk to each other. We've kind
That's
of been
okay.
seeing what we've both been doing in our
Mm.
businesses over the last kind of few months, but we are now partnered up as accountabilities as part of a mastermind group, which has been awesome. Do you want to just share with everyone a little bit about the mastermind group and what we're doing?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a 6 week course that we're doing every Monday night. And I guess it's just the steps to, provide you with that personal development to take you from here to here or to wherever it is you are to wherever it is you want to be. And yeah, we've been loving it. Our Zoom catch ups every week and we'll go for walks, but it's great. So much to learn along the way. And I think, everyone who's in that mastermind at the moment, we can already see everyone's progress. So I think it genuinely is just the beginning for everyone in that group.
Absolutely. And tell me, what's one of the big things that's been coming up in this mastermind group that links into what we're talking about today?
Fear and being outside your comfort zone and yeah, living outside that safety bubble that we all seem to like to nest in.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, maybe you can just share with everyone a little bit about your story and what's going on for you right now, and I guess
Yeah,
how
definitely.
it comes into where you're at the moment.
Yeah, so as with everyone, I would say I've faced my fair share of fears over my life, but one of them, honestly, like being all vulnerable here, was starting LTLA. And I think for me it was, I finished school, finished university, and you're faced with that decision. Should you follow the 9 to 5, get my career job, which is fine, and that's all people want to do. But on the other hand, I did have this fire in my belly to think, what else is out there, or what else can I take? Where can I take my next 5 years, 10 years? And obviously this was when I was presented with the LTLA opportunity. And
Yeah.
for me, that brought up so many fears. I'm thinking, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't enjoy it? Then I'll be 3 years behind everyone. And, I'm so far behind. And I just think that mindset shift that I had to make was a no brainer. It wasn't an option for me to do something I wasn't overly happy with just for the sake of following the right path, or and never knowing what LT like or whatever it is for your situation. But for me, not knowing what it would have been like, or I never want to think what if, or and one thing that my dad always said to me that I will never forget is, so for those who don't know, we moved from one side of the world to another when I think I was 7. And
Yeah,
and that's a huge decision to make, massive. And we
absolutely.
didn't know anyone here. We'd never even been here before. We didn't know a soul. And I will never forget dad saying, I never want to be 60 sitting in my chair or whatever and
Yeah.
think, why didn't we? Or what if we did? Or what would life be like? And for me, I think that's a mentality that I try to keep up no matter what. So yeah, so we obviously started LTLA, and it was a big change and different routine and different learnings along the way. And I can genuinely say that in the last year or 2 years of being outside my comfort zone, I would have grown more than I ever have, playing the safety bubble. And yeah, it just goes to show that fear is such a weird thing that we're faced with every day. And I think you can tell by, for those who are watching, Jodie, you've got much more experience than me. You're a different age than me, but we're both still faced with it. It's
Absolutely.
not going to go anywhere. And I think for me, it was just time to face it and get on with it. So yeah, it's such a weird thing, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And it's actually interesting because when we were talking in our accountability check-in earlier this week, or might have been at the beginning, we were talking about, how we invest time. And look, I went to university as well. I studied business, and it's really interesting to see where I am now. But I guess the thing is, for so many people, you might go down the path of, go down a particular direction and think that that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
But it's okay to actually change directions.
Exactly.
And I think, you've obviously done a university degree, and, it still has created you. So I'm sure you've learned so much during that journey that is going to add so much value to what you do in the future, but also what you bring to the people that you're working with. So I think, a little tip there is don't fear the, what you've been doing, where the path that you're going. It's okay to divert, and it's okay to, it's okay to just explore something new, knowing that it might not be where you ultimately end up, but how do you know if you don't actually give it a go?
I know. And I think going back to the university degrees, I don't think there's such thing as a wasted degree.
No.
There's, from what you learn, whether it's interacting with others, whether it's working as a team, or whether it's the actual content you've learned, it's never going to be wasted. I will use my degree every single day without even knowing, So
absolutely. And I think the comment that you made just earlier around, I'm a different age, I've got more experience in work, but you know what? The truth is, you're right. Everyone experiences fear of some kind, whether it be in their personal life, whether it be in business, whatever it is. And, just a little story of mine, I've been in the consulting industry for, say, 10 years now, and, moving out into a different industry, starting to do something totally different. I reckon I would have wasted about 6 months just worrying about what other people might think, what other people might think about, oh, Jodie used to coach in business and now she's, providing health coaching and, accountability coaching and focusing more on health and wellness. Well, that's a weird change. That's a weird shift. And I really did fear kind of going out to my current clients and people that I've worked with and colleagues and actually saying, this is what I'm doing. And it wasn't until I kind of just went, you know what, I know I'm good at this. I love what I'm doing, which is actually, I'm in a much better place than where I was before. So just take some action and do it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So, really, moving into that new space has been a bit of a challenge for me. The other big thing, and I know this is something that, a lot of other people experience as well in this industry, is, this fear of selling. And for a long time now, I've earned my income based on selling my time. So, I would do a consulting project, I'd get paid for every hour I worked. And I just wanted to kind of change that up. But in order to do that, there's this concept of, in what we do now in Learn to Live Again, is that we actually have to sell. And for me, that was like a really, really hard thing to overcome. And it's taken me a little while. And look, I still have days where I'm like, oh, I don't want to come across as a salesperson. I just want to help people. And so, I think for me, my fear and overcoming my fear is really about learning how to just, sell soulfully, be myself, share my story, share my experience. And people relate to that. And, I guess it gets to the point where people are then coming to you and saying, I really am interested in what you're doing. Can you share a little bit more? So, it takes that whole salesy side of things out away.
And I think that comes with, just being authentic and natural in you, that comes in hand. So
yeah. Absolutely. One of the things you shared with me the other day was that's 7 levels of why. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, LTLA has been a big fear of mine. And one of the biggest fears is this live. I've never done a live before. And I think, many people would regret. Thanks to you, Jodie.
Give us all lots of love, everyone. Charlotte's doing her first live today.
I think, a live is something that most people would regard as quite daunting and scary, So yeah, when Jody said let's do a dual live, I thought, yep, it's time. I've got to do it. So although it was a very fearful situation for me, because I wanted to do it, I challenged myself to really question why I'm fearful. So I think Justin Prince first spoke about this, and it's the 7 levels of why, and it can be applied to many areas of life. But for me, I always apply it to fear. So for this live coming up, I said to myself, why am I fearful for this live?
Yeah.
And me being vulnerable, the answer is because I'm scared what people will think, and then so the next level. So why am I scared what people think? And you keep going down and down and down until you hit a dead end, and you cannot physically answer that why. And I think, for me, that came really quickly, and it came at the why do I care what people think? Yeah. And I think, when you physically can't tell yourself a reason why, you can give yourself permission to tell yourself there is no logical reason as to why you're actually fearful. It's all in my head. It's all no one's telling me to be fearful for this. It's all something that I have to get over and deal with. So yeah, I think, for you, why are you fearful of selling? If you've got an answer, then not that you have to answer it, but the next why and the next why, and you can't answer it. And I think within reason, that's just the best way to break it down. And I also think it's super important to remember, as I mentioned before, that fear is not going to go away. It's the biggest piece of advice I was ever given was do not ever wait for the fear to go, because it doesn't go.
Absolutely.
As we said, it's evident in every single part of life at all stages, no matter what. So instead of, running away from the fear or just acting like it's not there, you're much better off facing the fear, figuring out how to break it down and alleviate it, because it doesn't just go away until you take significant steps towards it. I'm not saying just do the fearful thing. Like for me, like a dual live is a stepping stone to my solo life, which is my biggest fear. So I think, and you can apply that to all aspects, no matter what it is. Just break it down, and you get to the point where it's all in your head. Honestly,
absolutely.
So
I've got
that's
some
what works for me. So.
People buy people. They want to deal with people who are genuine. Oh, there's another comment here from Ian. You're wise beyond your years, Shah. So, and I totally agree with that. And
I can't see the comments.
Oh, you can't see the comments.
No,
all right, we'll work out how we fix that. One of my fears today was this is the first time we're using a new live streaming platform, and so far so good. I can see all the comments, so we need to work out how the invited guests can see all the comments. So
I think that,
stepping outside of our comfort zones is, we're kicking goals on that this week.
I think another thing that I always remind myself is, so with a fearful situation, what is the worst possible thing that could happen?
Yeah.
So for me, I did this exercise for this live as well. I said, what is the worst thing that will happen? And it's, I make a mistake, I say the wrong thing, I get really nervous. And then, you can answer them. They are real answers that could possibly happen. But then I question myself, the 7 levels again. So if I make a mistake or I say the wrong thing, I can guarantee you by tomorrow, people have forgotten. Or like, and then I think, when I'm watching someone's live, I always I hand on my heart, I'm not thinking, oh, they look a bit weird today, or oh, their hair's not very, or whatever it is. Like, I'm genuinely thinking, go you, like you're doing something that I'm fearful of. I genuinely don't think people judge as much as we think. Like,
no, absolutely.
So they're not going to remember, the worst possible scenarios. So I think that's important to remember too.
Yeah, fantastic.
And to enjoy it,
Yeah, absolutely. And we only grow by stepping outside of our comfort zone. Definitely. And really facing our fears. So I think the key takeaway I think is, if you've got fear, face it anyway. And tap into some strategies. There are so many different strategies out there that you can tap into that help you to overcome I guess what you see as a fear, but the ultimate thing is you actually just need to take action.
Yeah, definitely. Doesn't matter, even if it's baby steps, it doesn't matter. Everything is a step towards. So
absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so key tip for our viewers, who we have a few of today. What's your key tip for viewers in terms of facing fear?
Always ask yourself why. Why are you scared? Why is your answer that? Why? And then you'll hit a dead end. And that's it. No excuses anymore. You can't be fearful if you can't answer it,
No more excuses. So my challenge to you is I'm going to see you on a solo live next week.
You will. I'll see you there.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been nice. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Well done. This is so
you too. Cool. Thank you.
Let's do this again. Have an amazing day. You can go out and enjoy the sunshine now and know that you faced one of your big fears. So
and how good do you feel for that?
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly right.
See you guys.
Thank you. See ya.